What's up, everyone? Welcome to the June 17th edition of DraftKings Tournament Plays presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, sign up and make a deposit at PrizePicks. Use the code AWESOMO and receive 1 free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum when you sign up and make that deposit. You'll also receive a 100% first deposit bonus up to $100 on that deposit at PrizePicks. So be sure to go do that. We have a 12-game MLB slate tonight. As usual, we're going to take a look at 3 of the top tournament stacks and 3 of the top tournament pitchers on DraftKings using the top stacks tool and the top pitchers tool on the Stokastic.com website. Starting with the top 3 tournament stacks. Number 3, the Minnesota Twins are projected for 5% ownership with a 6% chance of being the top scoring stack and a 3% chance of being the top value stack, taking on Madison Bumgarner tonight in Arizona. Bumgarner is a shell of what he used to be. He's only struck out 16.5% of hitters this year. He's allowed 1.5 home runs per 9 innings. He has a 4.8 xFIP. He's facing a Minnesota Twins team that has a lot of power, a 157 ISO on their active roster overall, but plenty of right-handed power individually, a 116 WRC plus as well so far this season. Number 2, the Philadelphia Phillies taking on Paolo Espino tonight in Washington. The Phillies are projected for 14% ownership with a 12% chance of being the top scoring stack, but also a 10% chance of being the top value stack. Espino has only struck out 18.5% of hitters this year with a 4.04 xFIP. Philadelphia's active roster has a 113 WRC plus and one of the highest ISOs in baseball at 190. And number 1, the San Diego Padres taking on Kyle Freeland tonight in Colorado. They're extremely popular, 27% aggregate ownership projected for the Padres, but they also have a 22% chance of being the top scoring stack, which is ridiculously high on a slate of this size. And they also have a 20% chance of being the top value stack. We have them with a 21.5 top stack score, which is a new metric that we've included in the top stacks tool that weights the top stack percentage and the top value percentage. For context, Philadelphia is second at 11.1. So far and away, the top stack in terms of value and chances of success. You're just going to have to find a way to mitigate the ownership that comes with this team. Freeland so far this year has struck out 16.5% of hitters with a 4.6 xFIP. The Padres active roster has a 107 WRC plus and a 145 ISO. Now looking at the top 3 tournament pitchers, this is kind of similar to what we just saw with the top hitters. Pricing is just so bad on DraftKings today that these guys really stand out. And it's going to be kind of difficult not to get to them and to get elsewhere, even though they are pulling ownership. Number 3, Frankie Matas, projected for 39% ownership, 19% chance of being a top 2 pitcher, but also a 15% chance of being a top 2 value pitcher at only $8,300 against the Kansas City Royals. Matas has struck out 26.1% of hitters with a 2.95 xFIP. Kansas City's active roster has a 92 WRC plus. Only a 19.5% strikeout percentage this season, but Matas brings plenty of strikeout upside on his own, and Kansas City is a well below average offense in general. Number 2, Carlos Rodon, $9,900 price tag, taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates, sub 10K, great matchup against the Pirates. Their active roster has an 89 WRC plus and a 25.1% strikeout percentage. Rodon has a 30.6% strikeout percentage and 3.26 xFIP so far this season. He is projected for 30% ownership with a 20% chance of being a top 2 pitcher and a 7% chance of being a top 2 value pitcher. Technically going a little bit over-owned, but you have a bunch of roster spots you can use to offset that ownership. He clearly looks like a top pitching option tonight. And number 1, Robbie Ray, taking on the Los Angeles Angels, a more dangerous matchup than Rodon or Matas have, but still plenty of strikeouts here. The Angels' active roster has a 25.5% strikeout percentage. They also have a 112 WRC plus. Ray has struck out 25.1% of hitters this year with a 3.91 xFIP. He's home run prone and pretty much always has been. It wouldn't be shocking if he does run into some trouble against bats like Mike Trout and Taylor Ward. But the issue is that he's only $8,700. So all of this risk is pretty much priced in. And as a result, he's projected for 36% ownership, but he has a 20% chance of being a top 2 pitcher to go along with a 13% chance of being a top 2 value pitcher. Both numbers obviously very appealing. So to recap, the top 3 tournament stats: number 3, the Minnesota Twins; number 2, the Philadelphia Phillies; and number 1, the San Diego Padres. And the top 3 tournament pitchers: number 3, Frankie Matas; number 2, Carlos Rodon; and number 1, Robbie Ray.